Hey guys, how are you all today? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a case that has been haunting the headlines for quite a while now. But the more that we look into it, the less sense it seems to make. And you all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, we live in what some would call a ADHD culture, where we're expected to just move on once the news cycle shifts. But when I started looking into the latest timeline presented by Candace Owens, we're all going to look into it, I got those literal chills that you get whenever something's definitely off. Because guys, if even half of this is true, we are not just looking at a tragedy. We are looking at a timeline of lies. Now, in today's video, we are reacting to some truly explosive claims. You know how Candace gets. She gets very explosive, especially when it comes to her friend Charlie. We are going to talk about the Superman neck story, a narrative about Charlie's physical resilience that supposedly came from a surgeon, but evidence is now suggesting it might have been a complete fabrication from Erica Kirk herself. We're going to look into that. We are also digging into the suspicious CEO appointment of Erica Kirk. Turning Point donors are coming forward saying that the audio of Charlie appointing his wife is actually AI generated, and that the event in Aspen where it supposedly happened, simply it never took place. And guys, it gets even darker at this point. We are looking at the missing iMessages from the night before Charlie died, where he allegedly feared for his life, the messages that have since vanished or just simply been denied. Plus, we have to talk about the legalities. Why in the world is Kash Patel withholding documents? Why has the defense been denied access to the phone and the weapon? And why did Tyler Robinson's grandfather show up to defend him when we were all told the family had turned him in? Finally, we are touching just a tad bit, not much at all, just a tad, on the bizarre international angle, from BB's radical denials on the day of the shooting to the massive political 180-degree shift in Charlie's core values right before he was taken from us. That's going to be very interesting. There is just so much to unpack here. And honestly, something is just off. That's the simplest way to say it. Something is off. So grab your coffee, Red Bull, whatever you've got, get comfortable, and let's look at the facts. Because the truth deserves to be told, no matter how uncomfortable it makes people. Let's get into it, friends, and see what can be uncovered. Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So I just finished watching the latest from Candace Owens regarding the Charlie Kirk investigation, and honestly, it is all just very chilling to me. And we are going to go through it, piece by piece. Like Anna says in the video, I did not want to go down this route either, but when you look at the facts being presented, something is clearly off, period. We're being told just to move on because it is an ADHD culture, like I said earlier, and everyone just moves on quickly. But Candace and Anna are right. We cannot just ignore the objective lies that is being put in front of us. So let's see what we can uncover. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. But let's get into it.
What were you saying about Kash Patel's refusal to hand over documents? I don't know about that.
So the trial, I'm obviously on top of it because I really do think that what they're so angry about right now, more broadly speaking, is that we're staying focused on things. We are designed to be an ADHD culture.
That's true.
Charlie died yesterday. I forgive him. Okay, everybody move on. We're all good. Well, let's move on. She's moved on. Everyone, forget about it. Epstein files. Oh, who are we talking about the Epstein files? Okay, good. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, Trump says it's good, and you're MAGA, right? Here's some red meat. You're MAGA. Trump said it.
Here's
Lancer the king. Yeah. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And with this, I was like, I am not moving on from this. And so
the midterms.
Exactly. We've signed up. We're getting the documents, obviously, but the midterms. And in this particular case, so they obviously I sat down with Erica and she explained to me they were sort of moving towards this May date, or where he hasn't even entered into a plea yet, to be clear. And so in May, they're supposed to have this hearing, and there's limited discovery in that time frame, because one of the questions I asked Erica sincerely was, you're communicating to the public that you believe they have the right guy. So my assumption when she was saying that to Barry Weiss was that obviously she has access to more information than we have. Like, as you know, she's involved in the case, she's listed as a victim on the case, like she can see stuff that we can't see. Maybe it's literally a clear video of Tyler Robinson coming out and shooting Charlie, like open to that. And then when I sat down with her, she was like, oh no, I don't have anything more than the public has, because now what happens is we have to move towards this May date, and the SBI, which is the Bureau of Investigations in Utah, is the state investigations in Utah. They're going to go now find all this evidence that Tyler Robinson did it. And Tyler Robinson, then they present that to Tyler Robinson's team, and they then build their sort of defense leading to this May date. Well, it turns out that Tyler Robinson's team files a document and says, we need to move this date because we have been asking for Kash Patel, who should not even be involved in this case, mind you, it's a state case, to release the information to us, to give us these documents to his defense. So like, they haven't even given it to Utah. Forget SBI. They haven't given it to the SBI. The defense doesn't have it. And they're like, how are we going to have this hearing when they're going to get up there and essentially put on a show trial and say, Your Honor, look at these messages, where they're like, we don't even know those messages are real.
That's crazy.
Right? So imagine we're moving toward this date, and all they have is what Kash Patel told us in the first 48 hours, but they will not give them the discovery on that. They won't give them. So like, if I say Anna texted me and said she did it, and that they want to say that, blah, 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 the defense has not even been able to access Tyler Robinson's phone. They haven't been able to see the gun. Nothing.
Wow.
And what's holding that up?
That is weird. And also, what's up with the arbitrary May date, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the documents. Why is Kash Patel even involved in a state case in Utah and refusing to hand over documents to the State Bureau Investigation, SBI, or even the defense, the ones who is actually in the case? And as Candace points out, that the defense hasn't even been able to see Tyler Robinson's phone or the weapon either, along with the documents. I'm going to try to make a couple points that explains the situation regarding the discovery of the documents. First, you have the jurisdictional questions. As Candace points out, that Kash Patel should not even be involved in this case because the assassination of Charlie is a state case in Utah. Despite this, he is allegedly withholding information not only from the defense, but also from the SBI in Utah. The show trial theory. The defense team for Tyler Robinson has filed documents claiming that they cannot prepare for that May hearing that we're hearing about because Patel will not release the information. They argue that the prosecution intends to present messages in a show trial, but the defense cannot verify if those messages are even real because they've been denied discovery. You have the withholding of physical evidence. Beyond just the documents, the sources claim that the refusal to provide discovery has prevented the defense from accessing Tyler Robinson's phone or the weapon. You have suspicion of fabrication. Candace Owens expresses resentment toward Patel, and I too second that, suggesting that the theater of his involvement is sickening. She goes as far as to wonder publicly if the shady messages being used as evidence were fabricated by Kash Patel himself. There is a sense of betrayal. From Candace's perspective, Kash Patel's actions are part of a broader betrayal of Charlie Kirk. Kash Patel's actions are part of a broader betrayal of Charlie Kirk. It all comes from this big betrayal, and everything that we're discussing goes inside the big picture as smaller parts of the betrayal. And as Candace notes, that even though Charlie empowered these people, they are now not wanting or seeking more investigation and are instead obstructing the legal process. None of it makes sense to me. Ultimately, I think we can characterize Kash Patel's refusal as a central component of an inadequate investigation that relies on objective lies rather than transparent evidence? This case is as open and shut as they claim. Why is there limited discovery leading up to a May hearing anyway? And why does the May hearing feel like a show trial? If it doesn't make you sick to think about how Charlie did empower these people who now are withholding the truth completely, then you don't have any common sense to me. Let's keep going.
And for me, I never wanted to arrive at Erica being suspicious. I abstained from the like, oh, she's wearing hot pants with JD Vance. None of that matters to me. Because I don't think people understand. I needed it as a part of my grieving process not to accept that plausibility, because then for me, beyond just having lost Charlie and having to wake up to, I then had to wake up to the idea that Trump betrayed him in a way, and Kash Patel, everyone is betraying him in not seeking more investigation. What I had to go through to pursue that, I had to grieve again, right? Because I knew how much Charlie wanted love. Like, I have these messages. Like, I was helping Charlie draft text messages and what should I say. So I had to grieve again and go, okay, I need to like really just follow the facts here. And that's all I've done. And it's landed me at she's remarkably suspicious, not because of the way she dresses, not because of whether or not she's crying enough. All of that kind of paints a picture that makes people uncomfortable, but just objective lies that I can't comprehend. Why would you lie and tell the public? And I think for me, the most explosive one that no one wants to address by calling me a monster. Why would you lie and say that the surgeon told you or told Andrew that he had a Superman neck and all of this stuff that objectively did not come from the surgeon? It came from Erica. And why would you lie and tell me that Andrew went rogue and sent that message when you did it with him? I can't make sense of that. A source, source, and I trust the source. And obviously that's a strong statement to make. And so when Erica first said to me, I also didn't believe her, right? So when she said, I said, what's the Superman neck? And she said, Andrew went rogue. And then I said, the surgeon went rogue though and talked, the surgeon violated HIPAA and Andrew went rogue.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And beyond having the conversation, Andrew then tweeted without your permission. Like, that's a lot to have had to happen. I don't believe that the surgeon violated HIPAA and spoke to Andrew without your permission. And I said that to her face. I said, it's a tough one for me, but okay. And then I got the information that no, Erica actually called the surgeon. It's a 3-way call, and she wanted to know what to tell the public about why the bullet didn't go through. And that Superman neck thing came from her. So the public was told from Andrew's tweet.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, I can't, somebody just defend it. Somebody just tell me why that shouldn't completely unnerve me. Donors.
So this part really got me. The Superman neck. Candace claims Erica Kirk told her the surgeon said Charlie had a Superman neck, but later found out that was a story completely concocted by Erica Kirk herself. The Superman neck story is a narrative regarding the physical resilience of Charlie Kirk's neck during the assassination. It is used to explain why a bullet allegedly did not go through his neck, completely through his neck. According to the sources, the story was presented to the public as a statement from a surgeon. We all thought it was a legitimate statement, legitimate surgeon. You know how it goes. But it's heavily disputed by Candace Owens as another one of our objective lies that we're going through today. The Superman neck narrative is the story originated when Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, told Candace Owens that the surgeon informed her or Andrew Colvette, these are very important names, that Charlie possessed a Superman neck. This explanation was reportedly intended to account for the bullet failure to pass through his neck during the shooting. And the reason why the story is disputed is that, we have Candace, who mainly is the one who disputes the validity of this claim, and it's based on several points. We'll try to go through them also. You have the fabricated source. Owens asserts that the Superman neck description did not come from the surgeon at all. No. But it was concocted by Erica Kirk. You have HIPAA violations. So any legitimate doctor, are they going to talk about other people's information, medical information, with random people? Especially the world when it comes to the assassination. It was the world who knew about everything and heard everything and all that. No. And Candace Owens argues that it is highly improbable that a surgeon would violate the HIPAA privacy laws by discussing Charlie's medical details with Andrew Covet without explicit permission. Then you have the three-way call. Candace Owens claims to have received information that Erica Kirk initiated a three-way call with the surgeon to ask what she should tell the public regarding the bullet's path. According to this source, Candace and them, the Superman neck idea originated from Erica during that call, rather than from the medical professional's assessment. Then we have inconsistency with public statements. We all find it very unnerving, and I could probably say that for all of us, that the public was told this story via Andrew Covet, while Candace's investigation suggests the narrative was intentionally crafted by Erica to explain away physical evidence that did not seem to make any sense.
Another huge one, where like, these are my two biggest things. Donors saying that video that or hasn't existed yet, the AI, alleged AI of Charlie saying, I appoint Erica to be the CEO. Well, Erica told me that he said that at an Aspen event. I was like, okay, great. Well, the Aspen people who were at the event said that never happened.
What?
These are the Turning Point USA donors who have contacted me and said, Candace, that is AI. He did not say that.
What?
Now, they have alleged that they have the video of that. Why do they only play the audio? And then when I said, hey, guys, this is not normal. It doesn't actually really sound like Charlie. The cadence is somewhat off. And I said, okay, so just drop the video so we can all put this to bed. Not only that, people at Turning Point told me that he never said that at this event, okay? So what am I left to do? You guys mentioned this to the public. You said that Charlie, 2 weeks before, I guess, had done a complete 180 on his entire life's perspective that women should stay home and raise the children and not be CEOs. And suddenly he was like, you know what, actually, not only should women do it, but single women should do it. Widows should do it. And the kids should just be raised by the nanny and they should work 80-hour weeks.
That does seem uncharacteristic of Charlie Kirk.
It's completely uncharacteristic of everything he's ever said.
In fact, one of the last conversations I had with him was at the Democratic National Convention. And look, I always appreciated the fact that he was down to debate, right?
Yes.
And that he didn't ever let it get dirty. And so I appreciated that. And so we started debating about the role of women. And he basically said, because I don't have children, I don't plan on having children. It's just a decision that me and my husband made together. And honestly, I don't think that I have the right temperament to be a mom in today's society, because I will definitely kill people if they come anywhere. Like what they're doing to my husband right now, if they tried to like harm my kids.
Prison.
I would
can
be
make
in
myself
prison.
at home.
100%. I don't give a damn. That's how I am.
That's me.
I'm like fiercely loyal and defensive of my family. But anyway, he told me, well, you know, if you don't have kids, you don't really have a stake in the future of this country. And I just remember being very offended by that, because I love this country so much, and I definitely do have a stake in the future. Like I have young, nieces and nephews that I love to death, but even if I didn't, I love the people of this country. Like I want it to succeed. And so in that conversation, he like really reiterated what he believes the role of women should be. So then after he gets assassinated, and you don't really question it at first, because you don't want to be that guy or that person who's just like, I don't know, that sounds a little shady and weird. And you go along to get along. That's a good example of a story where you go along to get along. But yeah, there was this feeling within me where it's like, well, maybe he was willing to go against his beliefs or his values because he wants to make sure that the business falls in the hands of a family member, right? Maybe that's why. But I do find it strange. I do.
But it goes against common sense, because not only the story we're being told is like, specifically, he said, if anything ever happens to me, meaning like if I get killed, I want my wife to be the next person that gets into the line of fire while my kids are at home. Like, what? Like, no.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Actually, your instinct is then, no, shut this down. You go and move and stay away from politics forever and protect our children. So it defies common sense. And I know what Charlie's perspectives were, obviously, the life that he wanted and what he said every time anybody asked him on his podcast. I mean, we have a decade of Charlie saying what his perspective was on how women should stay home and there's no value in becoming a CEO. And then suddenly it's whiplash, and we're told actually right before he died, he just had this amazing 180 that it was a private donor event.
Yeah.
And now the donors are saying it didn't happen. That is AI. Okay.
All right, and then there is the CEO appointment. So let's get this straight. We're supposed to believe that Charlie, who spent over a decade, is saying that women should stay home and raise kids his whole entire life, as far as I'm concerned, that he suddenly did a whole 180 and appointed his wife, the mother of his children, CEO of Turning Point right before he died. That's one of the least things making sense to me here. The least. So you have donors who are at the Aspen event say that never happened. And Turning Point will not release the video of it. Only the very questionable audio clip that the donors are also calling 100% AI. If the video existed and it was Charlie's dying wish, they would have shown it to simply stop the rumors. Am I not right? And I do believe that the donors have several key reasons on why they believe the audio clip of Charlie Kirk appointing his wife Erica as CEO is AI. And we'll go through some of them also now. So you have, first and foremost, the witness testimony from the event. Donors that were physically present at the Aspen event where the appointment allegedly happened, they have contacted Candace Owens stating that the announcement never happened. That's a main one right there, period. People that were physically there, nope, never happened. The audio was AI. Let's get that one. Let's get that mind-bending thing. I don't know. I'm speechless. Okay. Then you have the auditory inconsistencies. Listeners have noted that the cadence is somewhat off and that the voice does not actually really truly sound like Charlie completely. And I get that. I feel that exact same thing too when I've heard the audio. You have the ideological contradiction also. The appointment represents the complete 180 that I mentioned a few minutes ago on Charlie Kirk's public values. Guys, I'm going to say this one more time. For over a decade, if not the man's whole entire life, he has consistently not went back and forth, none of that. It's been straight consistent. He has consistently argued that women should stay home and raise children rather than be CEOs. The donors also find it highly uncharacteristic that he would suddenly decide his wife should work 80-hour weeks as a CEO while their children are being raised by a nanny and have now lost both parents. And lastly, you have the lack of video evidence. While there are allegations that a video of the announcement does exist, somewhere, somehow, Turning Point has only released the audio. Owens points out that if a video of Charlie's dying wish actually existed, it would be a very powerful, and I believe it would be extremely powerful to dispute even more things than just this, to be like, yeah, look, we're not lying about this major thing, trust us. You know, and some people I'm sure would when it come down to it. But that if it actually existed, it would be a powerful way to put this to bed, so to speak, and rally people around Erica. Yet staff members like Blake Neff have reportedly said they are never dropping the video. Never gonna drop it. Some of this stuff's just wild to me. Donors were reportedly shocked by the claim because while they initially thought the announcement might have happened at a different venue like in the Hamptons, they were certain 100% that it did not happen at the Aspen event like Erica had claimed. The Superman Neck and AI Charlie saying Erica's CEO is another two of the major objective lies. That's caused all of us to become very suspicious of the official account of the assassination. What about you guys? What do you think? Am I wrong here? Or are everybody's just completely still suspicious of it? Why would we still need to be suspicious all of these months later? Let me know in the comments. Am I wrong? Let's keep going.
Receipts when you have them, right? And so everyone was denying what you were saying about the very real pressure campaign that Charlie was undergoing. And when you released those text messages, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is a big deal.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that it's definitive that there's like a connection to his assassination, but just knowing what he was going through personally behind the scenes in the months leading up to his assassination is information that maybe the FBI should be pursuing, no?
Or if you are the wife of Charlie Kirk,
Mhm.
wouldn't heads be rolling? Like, would I like the
100%.
last people that would ever have a platform at Turning Point USA, if I was at the helm of it, were the people who stressed him out, who pressured him, who
I would
like,
go to war with Josh Hammer.
Josh
Okay?
Hammer.
If that were my husband
Yeah.
and Josh Hammer was lying about what my husband actually believed, I would be at war with him.
Right.
Till this day.
Immediate partnership with all of his enemies.
It's crazy.
I
Yeah,
can't
that
make
kind of
sense
stuff
of that.
is weird.
I can't make sense of that. Everybody knows Ben and Charlie hated each other. Like it's like just a known thing in politics. Like they just never got along. And then he's opening, and it doesn't make sense to me. Setting aside my personal feelings for Ben, which were always in line with Charlie's because of how he behaves behind the scenes. How do you explain that?
Yeah.
Like he comes in with $1 million check, sits in a chair, and then just says, "Not." Like it's like that doesn't make sense to the public because a normal reaction to a loved one is everybody who caused them grief, who put pressure on their donors, who. How about me?
Am I right in saying the reactions and the actions in the aftermath of this whole thing is just as weird? Why is Eric Kirk immediately partnering with people Charlie considered enemies? Straight enemies. Like Ben Shapiro or Josh Hammer. As they note, Candace and Anna, if your husband was being pressured and stressed out by these people constantly, right before his death, wouldn't heads be rolling instead of forming partnerships?
Having to be the one to tell people that he, the night before, texted and said that he thought they were going to kill him. And not only that, but she explicitly denied that on Glenn Beck.
She did deny that.
Until I clocked it and said, well, Andrew Colbert told me that he was one of the ones that received it. And then it became the story about, oh, maybe it was in Telegram. Dan Flood received a message as well. It wasn't on Telegram. It was on iMessage. So who deleted it? Or were you lying? Or did somebody delete it? Okay, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe someone took his phone in between and deleted all that. I don't even know why you have his phone, actually. I feel like that should be in evidence. But it becomes increasingly hard that no one is attacking the substance of what I'm presenting. They're just saying, like, how dare you? How dare you keep telling the truth about what Charlie was going through? How dare you present to the public that he did not die a Judeo-Christian and that he was angry with how he was being treated?
And this is a big one also. There is the missing iMessage. Charlie allegedly messaged people the night before he died, saying that they thought they were going to kill him. Yet those messages were denied or deleted. That's not normal either. So Charlie Kirk allegedly sent text messages the night before he was killed, stating that he believed they were going to kill him. Candace Owens claimed that she was the one that had to reveal this to the public, noting that Andrew Colbert admitted to her he was one of the recipients and that Dan Flood received a message as well. While there was a later narrative suggesting these messages might have been sent on Telegram or elsewhere, Owens specifies that they were actually sent via iMessage. A significant point of controversy surrounding these messages is that Erica Kirk explicitly denied their existence. It all surrounds Erica Kirk. Anymore, I don't know the whole deal with her. This has led to questions regarding whether the messages were deleted, whether someone is lying, or if the phone was accessed by someone else to remove them. Additionally, Candace questions why Erica is in possession of Charlie's phone, arguing that it should be held as evidence, and this is something I was going to say regardless. Why is it not being held as evidence? Especially if there was messages. Deleted things can be retraced. We know this. We know true crime. We know this. Things that get deleted, they can be pulled back up. So if there was deleted messages the night before he was killed, that's definitely a huge point of interest. But she also argues they should be held as evidence in the assassination investigation. It only makes sense if he has messages anywhere in that phone of someone trying to kill him and that he ends up dead. That phone is 100% evidence, guys. I think we all know that to be true. To me, it's common sense. Do you guys agree? Comment what you all think so far of the stuff we've went through, and what you all would say differently or agree with.
Well, there was one other thing that I thought was interesting, right? The audio of Tyler Robinson's grandfather. Remember, Tyler Robinson allegedly was like turned in by his family. His like family knew he was guilty, and no, it turns out his grandfather, whose weapon he allegedly used, right, to carry out the assassination, was there at the trial defending his grandson. But we were all led to believe that the family, knew that Tyler Robinson is guilty and are not supporting him in this process.
Everything has been a lie, and I've told the public that I'm like, when this case gets going, you're going to see that everything's a lie, and so we are left asking the question: is why are they lying? And I'm sorry.
The controversy surrounding Tyler Robinson's grandfather and the trial centers on a direct contradiction between the official public narrative and his actual behavior during the legal proceedings. According to the source, the public was led to believe that Tyler Robinson had been turned in by his own family. We all thought that. From the very beginning, we thought that. Because they recognized his guilt and were not supporting him through the legal process. However, this narrative was challenged when Robinson's own grandfather appeared at the trial to defend his grandson. That's definitely not the same narrative we've been hearing. To defend him, period. Nothing else can be said about that. This is considered particularly significant and controversial for two reasons. Reason one, the weapon. The grandfather is the individual whose weapon was allegedly used to carry out the assassination of Charlie Kirk. His own weapon. Number two, evidence of deception. The speaker, Candace Owens, cites the grandfather's presence in court as proof that everything has been a lie. Down to the smallest things, down to his family turning him in. That's something that don't need to be said if it's not true. That everything has been a lie. Everything we've went through here today just tells us that everything has been a lie. And we're arguing that the public was intentionally misled about the family's stance on Robinson's guilt to bolster the case against Tyler Robinson. If his family's against him, then everybody's going to be against him. The discrepancy is presented as part of this broader pattern of the objective lies that we believe undermines the integrity of the official investigation. It's all completely different. It's all different. Nothing is the same officially and with what makes sense.
To get some, okay? Because
BB's radical denials when no one was pointing the finger at him was also kind of just weird.
Yeah.
I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Why are you saying that right now?
I know, that was pretty wild. First of all, why was he on a U.S. media tour on the day that he got assassinated? Mm-hmm. I don't care what Netanyahu thinks about anything that happens in our country at all. He should be in prison for the rest of his life as a war criminal, because that's what he is. Why are we hosting him on media shows here in the U.S. to chime in on Charlie Kirk's assassination?
It's bonkers.
And finally, Anna brings up a heavy point. The timing of Benjamin Netanyahu's U.S. media tour on the day of the assassination. Charlie was the one person standing in the way of the war. We all know what we're talking about. I'm not getting myself in trouble saying the name. He was debating Trump to keep the operations limited, and now that he is gone, they point out everything Bibi is wanting to be done. Even if you don't believe in the wider conspiracy of things, you have to admit the radical denials from leaders who were not even being accused yet. Bibi, was not even being accused. He's like, oh, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Those denials are beyond bizarre.
I have resisted, but like allowing myself to believe that there's like a wider conspiracy because you just don't want to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this, nothing adds up. Like this whole situation doesn't add up. And I do find it very strange that the person who wants to ask questions, and look, you might pursue threads that don't go anywhere. And I think people have a problem with that, right? They feel like, oh, you're incriminating individuals who are innocent. Like that's the big argument I hear against you. But I don't think you'd be pursuing this if you felt like there was an adequate investigation being done. And I myself agree with you that there isn't an adequate investigation being done.
And in which he reacted, and me knowing how they wanted this war so badly, and that Charlie at first stood in the way of it, literally like debated and got Trump not to.
I am with Candace and Anna on this one. We are rational thinkers. If we was not going through this stuff, if we was just trusting anyone and everyone who says whatever they want to say, that's not rational to me. We are rational thinkers, period, who don't trust a government or a narrative that relies on all these lies. We have went through so many different lies today. Whether it's the Tyler Robinson's grandfather defending him in court, despite us being told the family turned him in, or the objective lies, all these objective lies we've went through today about Charlie's final beliefs, or about Kash Patel withholding documents that he isn't supposed to even have. We need an adequate investigation, period. Period. Straight, point blank, period. We cannot just go along to get along, as they say. No. Absolutely not. Not with this case. Not with all the lies that's being thrown around. Not with certain people's names just being in all of these lies. I don't understand it. I'm sorry, but I would be gone for years. There's no way. If something happened to a family member or my husband or anything like this, I wouldn't be in the news. I would just straight be gone. I would not be able to handle it, let alone go out doing everything that these people are doing. I just don't understand at all. I don't understand. Yeah, what do you guys think? What is your all's honest, true opinions about the whole case, about the lies, about Tyler Robinson's grandfather being in court supporting his grandson, when we've all been told the complete opposite this whole entire time? About Kash Patel withholding the documents? You're not even in this case, dude. Go. Get out. Give everybody what they need so they can do adequate investigations, so they can do an adequate trial, so they can do what they need to do, and just leave. Nobody wants you here. Nobody wants you here. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments what you all think. I'm really curious on this one. And if you enjoyed the content, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. We are rolling videos out weekly. Sometimes if we find it a little frisky, we'll put out 2, even 3 a week. We're always trying to add more in, getting routines down pat, doing all that. And this small community is very, very appreciated. More than you guys could even realize. More than y'all realize, period. And like we say, the truth deserves to be told, no matter how uncomfortable it makes people. Stay safe and have a great day. Bye, guys.